Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something pretty universal. That feeling you get when you need to speak English on the phone.
Yeah, that little knot in your stomach.
Yeah, exactly. So we're diving into some great insights from the Think English, Learn It, Love It podcast. They had an episode called How to Speak English on the Phone Without Freaking Out.
A very relatable title.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It featured English coach Emma and Leo, who learned English himself. Our goal here is basically to help you get the tools you need.
Right. To stay calm, sound confident, and just communicate clearly on those calls.
So let's start with why phone calls feel so, well, scary for a lot of people, even native speakers sometimes.
It's true. And a big part of it comes down to what's missing. Yeah, you lose all the visual stuff, body language, facial expressions, gestures, all those clues we use without even thinking about it.
Okay. So you're left with just sound.
Just sound.
Yeah.
And that's a lot harder to process, especially under pressure.
And there's actually, science behind this feeling, isn't there? It's not just in our heads.
Not at all. There was a study from Cambridge University, I believe. It found that phone anxiety, specifically when you're speaking a second language, jumps by about 40%.
Wow, 40%. That's significant.
It really is. It shows that, feeling panic on a call is a very common, very understandable thing. It's about the cognitive load increasing.
Okay, so it's tough. We know that. What can we actually do about it? The podcast offered some kind of solution, right?
They did. They called it a phone survival kit, which I quite like.
A survival kit. Okay.
Yeah, it's basically a collection of really useful phrases. Not complicated stuff, just reliable phrases to help you out in, almost any situation.
So things to help you buy time, sound professional.
Exactly. Without needing perfect grammar or, super fancy vocabulary on the spot.
That sounds useful. So what's in this kit? Where do we start?
Well, they break it down. First, you need some basic opening lines.
Yeah.
Just solid ways to start the call.
Okay, like what?
Simple things like, hello, this is your name speaking. Clear, direct.
Right.
Or if you're calling someone, hi, may I speak with name, please?
Standard stuff, but important to have ready.
Absolutely. And I'm calling about. Just stating your reason right away sets the context.
Okay. And what if you miss something? That's always the worry.
That's the next crucial part. Clarifying phrases. Things you can say without feeling awkward.
Like what? But more polite.
Exactly. Haha. More like, sorry, I didn't quite catch that. Or, could you repeat that, please?
Oh, okay.
Or if someone's talking really fast, Could you speak a little slower, please?
That's perfectly fine to ask.
That's a good one. I think people worry about asking that.
They do, but clear communication is the goal. Right. Another great one is, let me repeat that back to you just to make sure I understood correctly.
Oh, I like that. It shows you're engaged and want to get it right.
Precisely. And a really practical tip they gave was to actually write these phrases down.
Like, have a little cheat sheet. Yeah, keep it by your phone or computer. Confidence comes from preparation, not magic. Having them right there reduces that in-the-moment panic.
That makes so much sense. And the podcast shared a story about this, didn't it, from Leo?
Yes, Leo's phone call fail, as they called it. It's a classic example.
What happened?
Okay, so he was on a work call. Fairly standard stuff. And the client asked him, could you shoot me the report by EOD?
EOD. Okay, I know that one now, but maybe not everyone does.
Exactly. And Leo, in that moment, he just froze, had no idea what EOD meant.
Oh, no. What did he do?
He did what many of us might do under pressure. He just said, yes, of course.
And then panicked internally.
Pretty much. Had to quickly Google EOD afterwards to find out it meant end of day.
Been there. Maybe not EOD, but definitely with other jargon or acronyms, you just nod along.
Right. You don't want to seem like you don't know. But Leo's story really highlights the key lesson.
Which is?
It's okay to ask. It's actually more professional to ask for clarification than to guess and potentially mess up.
So what could he have said instead?
Something simple and direct like, sorry, I'm not familiar with that acronym. Could you explain what EOD stands for?
Yeah, that's clear, polite, gets the job done, no shame in that.
None at all. It shows you care about accuracy.
Okay, so we've got the survival kit phrases, the idea of preparation, but knowing them isn't the same as using them smoothly. How do we practice this stuff?
Great question. The Think English team really stressed practicing out loud.
Not just reading them in your head?
Nope. You need to actually say the words. Build that muscle memory for your mouth and voice.
So call a friend.
Yeah, call an English-speaking friend and just chat. Or Leave yourself voice notes. Pretend you're making an appointment or asking a question.
Voice notes. Interesting. Low pressure.
Exactly. Or even just reading scripts aloud. Anything to get used to the sound of your own voice speaking English.
Did they suggest anything else? Maybe something for, like, self-assessment?
They did, yeah. Recording yourself.
Ooh, I think people find that one hard. Listening back to yourself.
It can feel a bit strange at first, definitely, but it's incredibly useful. Pretend you're calling a company, maybe say, "Hi, I'm calling to confirm my appointment."
Okay.
Then listen back. Pay attention to your tone. Are you speaking clearly? Too fast? Too slow? Do you sound confident?
It gives you real feedback.
For sure. The more you hear your own English voice, the less weird it feels, the more natural it becomes.
And they also mentioned starting small.
Yeah, go for easy wins. Don't jump into a high-stakes negotiation call first time out.
Right, like
booking a haircut, ordering food delivery, confirming a reservation. Small successes build real momentum and confidence.
Okay, that makes sense. Build up gradually. Now, beyond the specific words and phrases, there's something else that's really important on calls, isn't there? Something about how you sound.
Absolutely. This brings us to the power of tone, your vocal impression.
You mean how you say things?
Exactly. The podcast emphasized that often your tone matters even more than the precise words you choose. Well, think about it. You could have a perfectly grammatical sentence, but if your voice sounds really unsure or hesitant or nervous,
it undermines the whole message.
Completely. Your pitch, your pace, even your volume, they all send signals about your confidence and your meaning.
So it's not just what you say, but the whole vocal package.
The whole package. And they offered a surprisingly simple trick to instantly improve your tone.
Oh, yeah. What is it?
Just smile while you talk.
Smile. Really? On the phone. They can't see you.
They can't see you, but they can hear it. Smiling physically changes the shape of your vocal tract. It naturally lifts your pitch slightly, makes your voice sound warmer, friendlier.
More confident.
Yeah, genuinely more confident and approachable.
Right.
Try it. Say hello, this is your name. Normally, then say it with a smile. You can feel and hear the difference.
I'll have to try that. Such a simple idea.
But really effective. It sends positive energy down the line.
Okay, so let's maybe wrap this up. If you had to boil down the key takeaways from this deep dive, what should people really remember?
Right. First, just accept that phone calls are hard, even for native speakers sometimes. So be kind to yourself.
Okay, good starting point.
Second, build and use that phone survival kit. Have those functional phrases, ready openings, clarifications.
Preparation is key.
Third, practice out loud. Get comfortable hearing your own voice speaking English. Record yourself if you can.
Active practice.
Fourth, don't be afraid of making mistakes or asking for clarification. See it as learning, not failure.
Embrace the EOD moments.
Exactly. And finally, remember the power of your tone. Use that smile trick. It really works.
Excellent summary. So for everyone listening, here's a little challenge for this week.
Yeah, we want you to try practicing one phone dialogue. It doesn't have to be a real call if you're not ready.
Right. You could call a friend who knows you're practicing, or leave yourself a detailed voice memo playing out a scenario. Or just talk it through out loud.
And the specific challenge is to try and consciously use at least 3 of the survival phrases or strategies we talked about today. Maybe asking for repetition, confirming understanding, or just focusing on that confident opening.
Great challenge. And finally, something to think about after we finish up here. Consider this. How might mastering these small things, like just asking, could you explain that? Or consciously making your tone warmer, how might that actually change more than just your phone calls?
You mean like impacting other communication too?
Yeah. Could it maybe shift how you approach any situation where you need to be understood, even when you don't have the perfect words right away? Could it empower you more broadly? Something to mull over?